Hello and good evening and a very warm welcome to a special program called Cricket Predicta, only on NewsX, powered by 1xBet. In yesterday's high-scoring encounter, Sunrisers Hyderabad secured their fourth consecutive victory in the current IPL season, overpowering Delhi Capitals by 67 runs. Yes, David, I'm going to come to you with that big victory. In the meanwhile, the 35th league match opting to bowl first, winning the toss at the Arun Jaitley Stadium, Delhi Capital faced a daunting target as Hyderabad posted 266 runs for the loss of 7 wickets allotted in their 20 overs. This marked the third occasion in the season that Hyderabad surpassed the 260-run mark. In response, Delhi Capital struggled and managed to reach out 199 runs in 19.1 overs, falling short of a target. Travis Head's spectacular innings of 89 runs of just 32 deliveries, featuring 4 sixes. It was a match to just savor. Turning our attention in today's action-packed doubleheader, the first clash unfolds at the Eden Gardens, Kolkata, where Kolkata Knight Riders are going ahead. In the meanwhile, on the historical backdrop of 33 encounters, Kolkata holds the edge with 19 victories against Bangalore's 14. This marks the second face-off between the two teams this season, with Kolkata emerging victorious in their initial encounter by 7 wickets. Later in the day, the action shifts to Mullampur, featuring showdown between Punjab Kings and Gujarat Titans. Having clashed 4 times in IPL history, both teams have shared an equal record, each winning 2 matches apiece. My guest joining me straight from London is David Brooks. David, let's talk about yesterday's match. What a way it was to lose. Do you think Delhi Capitals only plays for the toss and they have to decide whether they get it right or wrong, which means either they win or lose, and they celebrate on that? Your views?
Yes, I know that the captain, Pant, has been quoted as saying that, with regard to his decision to bat second, that he was expecting some dew in the surface or whatever. But so what he wouldn't have been expecting would have been 125 runs off that 6-over power play. I mean, extraordinary, wasn't it? It's sort of, you think that you've seen the fastest scoring that's possible, and then Travis Head and Abhishek Sharma, Travis Head with 89, Sharma with 46. It was just, if this is hyperinflation now. So I talked about inflation last time. We've got hyperinflation. The runs are flowing, and some of those bowling figures don't look too pretty. Lalit Yadav only bowled 2 overs, went for 41. Lockie, Nortje was hit around the park. Even Kuldeep Yadav, sort of with his skill, got 4 wickets, but he still went for 55. What is going on? It's not a bowler's game, is it? It's a batter's game at the moment, and the impact play, I think, has added to the problems that bowlers face. There's always another batsman to come in. Look at where Shabazz played when he came in at 6 or 7 with the 59 not out, and 29 balls, just when you think that you've got through the batters. So, yeah, there's absolutely nowhere to hide for the bowlers, Sunil.
Well, you can run, but you can never hide from the shadows of deep inside. Of course, you know that song. Wherever the bowlers go, the batsmen are 2 steps behind and they're chasing them down to the full throttle. Again, we have yet another guest who's joining me soon. But before we have a guest joining in, David Brooks, did you see this kind of carnage? Is it the reverse kind of a carnage that the bowlers are facing, considering what West Indians used to do in the late 70s and early 80s? Do you think tables have turned and the tide has gone back?
Well, as far as what's good news for all Indian cricket fans is the number of Indian players, especially the ones down the order, who have shown their ability. I mean, we're going to talk about the Titans later on, but the way that Shashank and Ashutosh Sharma have been playing, and every team seems to have someone who can really strike the ball. So no doubt the India producing the sort of array of strikers that used to be associated purely with West Indies. I mean, the West Indies players in this tournament aren't doing too bad either.
Absolutely.
Now Ryan and Russell look like they can go on forever. So yeah, but it's pleasing for India to have this choice of. I know Shivan Dubey didn't get going in the last game, but he's in the Yuvraj Singh tradition, isn't he? It reminds me a bit of Yuvraj Singh with that ability to strike the ball so cleanly. So yeah, India producing these players who can clear the boundary with ease. You think back to the time when it was more about the risky players, the Gavaskars and the Vishwanaths, and now we're seeing these big, powerful strikers of the ball. So, yeah, it augurs well for India in this in the short form, doesn't it? Very
Absolutely,
so.
absolutely. Shortest format, they've just got the edge. I'm turning my attention to a former, or till recently an IPL player, who's playing alongside some of the big names. It's Gautam. CM Gautam, may I request you to join us right now, and if you can hear us, welcome to the show, Gautam. It's a pleasure and an honor to welcome you on the show again. As we say, as people and fans have predicted, you are the future commentator and an analyst, and we'll welcome you right now on the show and ask your views. Gautam, when you were watching the match yesterday on television, what was going in your mind? What were you thinking?
Yeah, hi. Good evening to everyone.
Good evening.
As we spoke yesterday on the show, it was always between SRH batsmen versus the DC bowlers. And the way Travis had started, and it looked like they're going to get 300 at one point. So, as we mentioned, the ground was a little smaller on the sides, and the wicket was flat, and nothing much was happening. And having said that, the way SRH bowled was completely different from what DC bowled. So there was a contrast in bowling between DC and SRH. So the credit must go to Pat Cummins for rotating his bowlers really well and using the spinners and fast bowlers at the right time. When Rishabh Pant was batting, he never bowled a spinner. He always bowled a medium pacer. He took off the pace, and there were a lot of slow bouncers bowled at Rishabh Pant. So they kept Rishabh Pant quiet for like 4-5 overs. That changed the momentum of the game, I think.
Well, do you think is it a bowler's game or a batsman game, or completely out and out batsman's game, and bowler has no role in it?
If you look at the scores this year, it's like the par score has become 200,
Yes.
220. It's become like an inflation, like every year the 6% is going up. So having said that, the batsmen are getting better and stronger with their bats every year. And the quality of bowling is going down, I feel. To be honest with you, even I was watching the match sometime back, RCB versus KKR, where the ball was holding up a little bit. The par score, what I thought on that wicket was 180. And if you look at the par, they ended up getting 222. So I think the bowlers has to be skillful going forward. Otherwise, they're going to get hit for like 50 runs.
Well, I could see Sadanand Vishwanath, and I want to get him into this discussion. Sadanand, you were saying something yesterday very important, which most of the cricket analysts in the sports fraternity missed out, including the big names. Sadanand, you mentioned watch out for Travis Head, and you gave the reason. WTC final, you spoke about the World Cup final, shorter format, and you said when he goes out to bat, he enjoys the game. Sadanand Vishwanath, if you can come in the blue t-shirt on the right corner. Sadanand, share your views. Why did you have to pick up Travis Head? Of all the players, of all the batters, how did you manage to pick out such a monster? Your views.
Such a monster. You described him very well, Sunil. Yeah, he's in monstrous form. He's got a huge appetite for runs right from the very start. Daniel Vettori has given the entire team a license to kill, and so do all the other batsmen in the SRH lineup. They're averaging more than 150. And what a terrific start. I don't know why Rishabh Pant, after winning the toss, put the red hot team into bat. He could have actually batted first. I mean, that's my viewpoint. But anyway, they almost pulled off a miraculous victory because they brought down the run rate to about 11 or 12 when they were chasing. And after conceding 125 runs in the power play, which is a record, and then to, restrict the opponents to just 250 odd was a tremendous achievement by DC. But they just couldn't pull out that rabbit from the hat. And I really wish that Rishabh Pant starts timing well, starts getting back onto the ball, and so do the other boys. So I think Rishabh Pant, when we spoke about the wicketkeeper slot, he might actually miss out because he's not looking like the old of Rishabh Pant. I'm very sorry to say this, but I hope he proves me wrong. But I felt DC could have won the game yesterday.
Absolutely. But when you look at the performance and when you look at the players, it is quite a sad reflection on what it is. Gautam, I'm going to drag you into this discussion and give us a player's perspective on it. Player's perspective on something that we've been discussing. How do they feel when they don't get the right team in their place? Do they go back and say, hey, I wish the guys sitting on the auction table could have done a better job? Because now the entire owners, one wrong move or three wrong moves in the auction table reflects purely badly on teams like Delhi Capitals and RCB. Just imagine, you've got the best batter in Virat Kohli. He's got the orange cap. He's got an individual performance, but at the same time, team is languishing at the bottom. Same goes with Rishabh Pant. I mean, he's out there with his life-threatening injury. He's going out and proving himself. But at the same time, the team is not doing well because they haven't got the balance. So what do you guys talk in the dugout? Don't you guys go back and say, hey, I wish those guys did a better job?
Yeah, it's always there.
Carry on, Gautam.
Go on, Gautam.
Yeah, it's always, there are ifs and buts, as we spoke yesterday on the show,
Yes.
SRH came into the auction with a plan. They wanted a captain very badly and they wanted a good opening batsman. They got both at the auction table. And going back to DC, they should have got one good explosive opener. They are heavily dependent on aging David Warner, I would say, and it's not the same what he used to play like 3-4 years back. So they could have capitalized the kind of money DC had. They could have got a good opener and good death bowler. So I think there are certain points, even RCB missed out on that. They should have got a good spinner and good death bowler. And having said that, yeah, sometimes you get a player who you want. And if you don't make them play at the right time, at the right place, you're the loser, not the player. And so that is where the expertise of the mentor, the coach, and the captain comes into play. So you have all the ingredients on a table. If you don't cook properly, the fault is yours, not the team's.
David Brooks, very aptly put. I think Gautam has already shown signs of an apt commentator. Your views, do you think the players would go, you still play in the senior league in your county whenever you go and every Sunday, but don't you guys discuss what an awful performance to be and what an awful time to be a bowler in whatever format in the international cricket? Just speak up. Yeah.
Yes, Sunil, I was interested in the comments of Dale Steyn yesterday. I don't know whether you picked those up.
Yes.
He said that he would love to be a bowler in this current era of the batters, because he said there is a super premium on those bowlers who have got the skills to take wickets and restrict the runs. You must have been thinking of Jasprit Bumrah, who has confounded, the stats in terms of, his economy rate, his wicket-taking ability compared to the other bowlers in the team. So, but how many bowlers are capable of fetching that super premium? It puts, who can restrict the runs when the boundaries are quite small, when you've got endless number of batsmen to come in with the impact players or whatever. But very interested to see those comments from Dale Steyn. He's thrown down the gauntlet and saying to bowlers, you can do better.
Absolutely.
And the bowlers, the cream will rise to the top. There is going to be a super cadre of player who will come through and emulate the achievements of Jasprit Bumrah, who's almost alone with his economy rate and ability to take those vital wickets. I mean, we've seen flashes from other players as well.
Absolutely.
From other bowlers too, but Bumrah's the only one to do it consistently at the moment.
Yeah, so we're talking about skills. But the other side to it is the hype and the hoopla also lives up to the fan excitement. And yesterday was no different. Remember, yesterday Delhi hosted the first of the IPL in the 5-match series that they would be hosting next 4. But what it gave the fans was a moment to celebrate, was a moment to, exchange views, happiness, although their team lost and they've been losing for past 16 years. One such fan and an interesting cricket expert who's traveled all the way from Zimbabwe. His name is Tatinda Ziambe. I hope I got it right. He's a cricket expert from Zimbabwe who joins us in the studio. In fact, he was present at the Arun Jaitley Stadium. Tatinda, welcome to the show, and we welcome you with your debut in front of Indian television.
All right, thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here with you and these prestigious guests. I hope I do them justice.
Tatinda, just take us through your experience, your first time experience, what you saw yesterday at the Arun Jaitley Stadium.
I saw lots of runs in the first innings and it was very exciting for me. Look, coming into to India, going to see an IPL game for the very first time, it was an amazing experience. And look, Sunrisers Hyderabad, we know they're a team that, maybe they're following sabermetrics, Moneyball type of things. They're favoring getting a lot of runs in the power play. And they did just that. And my goodness, they knocked it all over the park. And it added more fuel to the fire of if bowlers are going to be able to survive in this new age where batters are seemingly reigning supreme. So over and above that, Delhi Capitals, they tried to come and make things interesting. I think the captain, Rispa Pant, he tried to sicken around the end. But Fraser McGurk, I was thoroughly entertained. I had a great experience watching both teams play. And it was a run fest.
Tatinda, keep a hand on your heart and just tell us about, was it overwhelming to see a huge stadium, all filled, cops? What was your experience yesterday? Just take David Brooks through, because he's lined up as the next guest coming into India for the IPL to pay his pilgrimage.
Well, I'm sure David Brooks is going to have, a hell of a time like I did. Look, coming from where I'm coming from, I've been to a few stadiums before. I've been to Wanderers in South Africa, obviously at Harare Sports Club, but this was on another level, at least for me anyway. I think the setup, the crowd, it's an altogether new experience. I know I was talking about the fact that cricket is number 1 to number 7 in terms of the favorite sports of the locals here. But the way people, when Pat Cummins came close to the boundary, everybody was shouting, trying to get his attention. Never mind the fact that you're Delhi Capitals fans. It was a whole level of fandom, just in scale. I think it was a great experience, and like I said, I'm sure for anyone else who does come, they're going to probably have just as good a time as I did.
CM Gautam, the point is that we can review about the bowling condition, the batting condition, everything put together. But beyond it all, when it comes to fandom, isn't IPL the biggest Indian export in sports in the last century? Your views?
Undoubtedly, IPL is like a festival in India. Like, it's a 2-month festival and it's a summer, and a lot of people have their own the fan base and the favorite team, the favorite player. And if you look at the fan base of RCB, they've not won anything for the last 16, 17 years. And the fans are very loyal. Even today morning when I went out, I could see a lot of fans wearing RCB dress and having breakfast in the malls. So having said that, the fan base of Mumbai Indians, CSK, RCB, KKR, and it's massive. And cricket is growing in India. It's like a religion. And people don't care whether you win or lose. They're very, very attached to their teams. And they don't, all they need is entertainment, and at the same time that loyalty towards their teams. So it is, every year the IPL is growing and getting bigger and bigger.
David Brooks, can we talk about, and it's just a parallel juxtaposition, that do you think IPL is at par or it is exactly what EPL is to an Englishman? Your view?
I think it's a good analogy, isn't it? And one of the great, I think it does equal the Premier League of football in the UK, in England. One of the great pleasures of it for me is seeing these international players like Pat Cummins, with with Indian teammates, and seeing traditional protagonists, people who've always been on the opposite side of the international equation, coming together, and that's a really pleasing aspect, isn't it? And it's great to see, like the KKR fans, they worship Andre Russell and Sunil Narine. It's great to see Cummins scoring such a hit with the home supporters. And I think, it's great for the world of cricket to see these traditional adversaries now playing alongside each other. It's one of the great pleasures of the IPL.
What's your prediction today, considering you've got all 100% right in the last fortnight? What's your prediction?
Well, this is the as
second
far as the
match.
game is going on at the moment. Well, just a quick word about the one at the moment. A lot for Virat Kohli to get on his own. So you've got to say that KKR have got too many if they're playing against one member of the team. As far as the second match,
Right.
Punjab Kings and Gujarat Titans. I mean, two sides that have been playing very poorly recently, where the top orders have really been failing, haven't they? And if it wasn't for Shashank Singh and Ashutosh Sharma, I mean, where would Gujarat Titans be? Their overseas players have done very little. So, I mean, it's hard to pick one. I certainly would be keeping my hands in my pockets. If I had to pick one, I'll go for the Titans today because I don't think Gill will fail twice. I think he'll score runs today. But
Absolutely.
They're very reliant on him, you know.
CM Gautam, what is your opinion about today's second match? Very quick.
I feel Punjab has been playing exciting cricket. I think they've come close and lost few games, you know.
Right.
I think I'm backing Punjab today, and I think they'll do well. They'll do well today.
Last question, does it hurt when an international expert like David Brooks calls your former team, RCB, as one member team and only Virat Kohli plays in that team? Does it hurt you?
Not really. That is the truth. He's spoken the truth, so I'm backing him.
Sadanan Vishwanath, former
Thanks,
international wicketkeeper for India. Final word from you. You're a Bangalore fan. What do you have to say about today's first match?
Well, RCB have a mountain decline, 222, double Nelson. A great score put up by...
What's your pick? We've got just 30 seconds.
Yeah, well, between Gujarat and Punjab, certainly Gujarat tonight.
Gujarat tonight. What about your home team?
RCB will be one of the first teams to be eliminated.
All right. All right. On that note, we'll call it a day. Thanks for joining us. Thank you, all the IPL members and the former cricketers joining us. We also have a special guest in our studio, Tatinda, who will keep on joining us and giving his insights about the IPL, about the players, and also getting you Sikandar Raza exclusively at some part of our program. That's all we had time for. Keep watching NewsX. We'll be back after a short commercial break.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.